afternoon. It's Monday. It's currently 1:05. I have just wrapped up my weekend reading vlog, so if you've come straight from there to here, yes, I have the same jumper on. I'm in the same position because I have not moved. This week is the final week of April, and I have a lot to do. Luckily, I'm working from home because both my parents and my brother and sister-in-law are on holiday this week, so I'm not going in the office because there's nobody there and I can't get in because the office is my brother's house. So I'm working from home this week, so I've got a lot of opportunity to do some extra reading that I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do. And I only have that up until Friday afternoon because then I will be going to Andy's for the weekend. So the current count for 30 books in 30 days is 22. So I've got 8 books to read in 5 days. I'm hoping I can nail it, but the books that I've left for me to read are not small books. There's a couple of them under 300 pages, but they're still like 200 odd pages. But that's where I'm at. So I'm not going to go through with you exactly what I'm reading this week because it could change depending on my mood. But right now I am currently reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I'll show a picture of it here because my physical copies aren't coming till Wednesday. And I'm currently really enjoying myself. My current page count is page 248, 46%. And I'm hoping to finish that today and listen to the audiobook as well as following along on my Kindle. And I have 3 hours and 26 minutes left of the audio, and I'm currently on Magic Monday sprints with patrons, so I'm hoping to finish that today and at least start something, if not finish something else later on today. So fingers crossed for that. I want to make good progress on reading today so that tomorrow I need to do some filming at least tomorrow morning, if not for the majority of tomorrow, and then some editing. Luckily, the weekend reading vlog is pretty much edited up until the last clip. And my Thursday video is already edited, uploaded and scheduled and ready to go. I just need to film my Saturday video. If I'm in the mood to continue filming tomorrow, I may continue to do so to get ahead on the next week's videos, but we'll see what happens with that. So that's where I'm up to. So yeah, I'm gonna bounce because my battery's dying and I've got 20 minutes left of the sprint, but I want to continue listening to my audiobook. So I will check back in with you and I've got something to update you on. But so far, really enjoying The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I can't believe that I am able to rhyme that off now without getting it wrong. Very proud of myself. Hey, it's much later on Monday. In fact, it's almost Tuesday. It's 22 midnight and I've come on to let you know what I've managed to read today. But I did manage to finish The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I'll show a picture of it here. Sorry, I'm sat very, very strangely because I can't be bothered to go and get my tripod from upstairs, so you're sat on my laptop. I finished Serpent and the Wings of Night and I've given it 4 stars, 4.5 stars if I gave half stars. I realised that I haven't given you a rundown of what this book is about, but it's a fantasy romance basically about vampires and humans. We're following our main character Araya, who is a human, and she is the adopted daughter of the Nightborn Vampire King. And there is a war raging in where she lives. However, there is this also Hunger Games like trial, if you like, and she ends up going in for it because you, at the end of it, if you survive, you get like a wish from the Nixia, which is this like, you know, god like person. And basically she goes into these games and they're obviously not expecting, well, her father, adopted father, expects her to do really well and he wants her to win because he has a plan for her, but a lot of other people are underestimating her because she's human, and she ends up teaming up with a rival, and there is a brewing romance. It's very much a slow burn. The angst in here went on and on and on with the book, and it was really, really good. It definitely kept me hooked for that reason, and I really enjoyed it, and I didn't see what happened at the end coming in the slightest, so I'm very excited to pick the next book up. I actually downloaded the novella that comes in between Serpent and Ashes, Ashes being the second book. So I downloaded 6 Sourced Roses, which I am thinking that I might try and pick up this week, because Ashes will come on Wednesday with a physical copy of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, because I did manage to get paperback copies of both of them this afternoon. So they're coming on Wednesday, but the audiobook for Ashes doesn't come out until August. So I want to read this novella to see if I can physically read these books, and if so, I will try and pick up Ashes soon as well, because I'm really enjoying the series. But if not, I'll wait until August when the audiobook comes out. So yeah, enjoying that series. Might try and pick up the novella later on in the week. And then I did do a poll for my patrons, and I put 4 books on the poll, and then they decided that the 4 books on the poll should be the order that I read these books this week, because they are 4 books that I do want to read this week. I just couldn't decide what to read next. So the books went on the poll, and this is the order they came out in. I can't remember the percentages off the top of my head, and I can't bother to look it up. So I have started Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. This is a horror, and I'm reading it for Cassidy's favourite, so I'm stealing a host's favourite. And so far we're following we're following our main character, who's Erin, and she had this like on again off again boyfriend called Silas, and we start off in the first chapter with them kind of almost grave robbing, if you like. They're all absolutely high as fuck. They've taken some drugs, they're all high as fuck, and they start off grave robbing, and they end up getting chased down by security, and a very strange, bizarre sex scene happens in the first chapter. We then move on. I think some time has passed. I don't know how much, but I think some time has passed. Erin's on a date with someone else, but it turns out that Silas has been in and out of rehab since then, and she keeps helping him out. Whenever he calls, she'll help him out, and she's got to a point where she's just sick of his shit, and then something happens. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but I think that it turned out that Silas, he was doing drugs, but I don't think he was doing drugs as much as people thought he was doing drugs. Either that or he wasn't doing them at all. But I think he's been seeing ghosts, and nobody's believed him, because there were a couple of things that were said, and it makes me suspicious. It does start off saying pop a pill, see the dead, side effects may occur. So maybe it's the drugs that are making them see the dead. Erin hasn't been able to set a single boundary with her charismatic but reckless college ex-boyfriend Silas. When he asks her to bail him out of rehab again, she knows she needs to cut him off. But days after he gets out, Silas turns up dead of an overdose in their hometown of Richmond, Virginia, and Erin's world falls apart. That's the part at which I'm up to. He's just passed away, and it's just been the funeral. So she's now having a chat with one of their mutual friends, Tobias, and that's the part at which I'm up to. Then a friend tells her about Ghost, a new drug that allows users to see the dead. Want to get hammered, he asks. Grieving and desperate for closure with Silas, Erin agrees to pill popping seance. But the drug has an unfathomable side effect, and once you take it, you can never go back. So I'm intrigued to see how this goes. I assume it's gonna turn out that Silas was on this drug. But yeah, so far intrigued, and I'm currently up to page 78. So I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow. I have, I think, just over 3 hours of the audiobook left. So hopefully finish that tomorrow. And then I'm thinking that I will go into the novella. That wasn't on my poll, but I might do the novella tomorrow as well, to knock that out of the park. And then we have The Book Eaters by Sonia Dean, which is the other Patreon pick for March and April for the month, so that's going to be my next read. I'll go through what that's about with you when I get to it. Then the next one was Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski, which is a middle grade, so I am looking to forward to picking that one up as well. Hopefully should be quite quick because it is a middle grade. And then the final one on the poll was The Spite House by Johnny Compton, which is a short horror, which I'm also looking forward to. The text in here is absolutely fucking tiny, but again, I have the audiobook for. Okay, so I'm currently on 23 books read, so I've got 7 left to go. So this is 1, 2, 20, what was I on? 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and then I'll need 3 more. So I'm thinking the novella and then maybe a couple of graphic novels. I think that's going to end up being my plan. I do have the Intimacy Experiment I still need to read as well, but I think other than that, I don't know if I have anything else that I need to read that was on my TBR that I need to read for book clubs or anything like that. So that's where I'm up to. That's the update for the day. That was a really long update. I do apologise, I was rambling a little bit, but these are the plans for the week. Hopefully I stick to them. I am going getting my nails done in the morning, 10 o'clock, so I'm going to nip to the salon, get my nails done, nip to the post office and post some bookmarks, and I might pick myself something up for lunch, and then the rest of the day is mine to do with as I please. I do need to film tomorrow. Plasterers come in Tuesday next week to actually start work plastering on my bedroom, and I have now need to English. I don't know whether to film tomorrow or whether to focus on reading tomorrow, try and get through a couple of books tomorrow and Wednesday, and then film like Thursday. And then Friday I can kind of see where I'm up to and see what's going on, rather than filming earlier on in the week. Maybe I might push filming back a little bit later on in the week and just try and get on top of my books, and maybe even try and get ahead of myself a little bit. We're on the 24th, I'm 23 books in, so I am behind a book, but I don't know, I'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be a reading day, maybe it'll be a filming and editing day, I don't know, but I will let you know, keep you posted. I'm gonna go up to bed. Oh, I'm also thinking actually of starting the dinosaur book, the non-fiction 10 facts you should know about dinosaurs book as well. I'm thinking about going up now and reading 2 facts a night, or depending on how quick it is, maybe I'll read it quicker, but maybe 2 facts a night, or 3, because I won't be reading it Friday night because I'll be at Andy's. So I'm thinking about starting that as well as another book to knock out of the pack, because I did want to read that this month and I haven't picked it up yet. So I think I might go and start that one now as well. But that's the update. That's where I'm up to. So I'll keep you posted tomorrow, let you know how I get on, and I'll show you my nails. Here are my nails now. They're daisies and blue. I've got no idea what I'm getting tomorrow, so I'll keep you posted, let you know what I decided to get, and I will check in with you then.
Just where it was needed.
Good morning, it is Tuesday and I have just got back from getting my nails done. I am calling these the Becca because they've been inspired by Becca's recent nails. I say recent ones, the last one she's had. Because I absolutely love them and I wanted to get similar ones, so I hunted down a photo on her Instagram because of the stalker that I am, and showed my nail tech, and we went for something similar and I love them. What do you think? Becca, you are my inspo. Just FYI. So yeah, I went for something quite bright this time. I don't normally do that. I think Becca got different, like her one hand, the colours were different than the other, I can't remember, but I went for the same colours because there was so much choice and I couldn't pick another 3 colours or even one more different colour, so I love them. I've never had animal print before, I don't think, so this is my first lot of animal print and I love it, the zebra. So yeah, I also hunted down, I wanted to find something to do after I got my nails done today, to just have a wander around for a little bit longer, because I've been stuck in the house for a few days, obviously with the dog. So I decided to have a quick butcher's on Google and see what shops are around in Ashton. I've lived here for 12 years and I don't know the town centre like I think I do. I know the centre of it on the main street, but there's loads of roads around the back, like where my nail tech is, that have loads of different shops on them that I never knew about. And I found a crystal shop. You'll have just seen some B-roll of it. I didn't know it was there. I was talking to the owner just now and she was saying that she opened in January, and they do all kinds of stuff. So they've got like a new holistics place down the road from where the shop is, where they're going to be doing, starting from Thursday, they've got like a 12-week tarot reading course. They do like holistic massages and things like that. They're doing all kinds of different courses, meditation, etc. And I just think it's fantastic. I obviously go to the crystal shops in Ipswich when I go to Jade's, and I absolutely love visiting those. So I really love that I've got one now down the road from my house. I can just walk to it and I'm really excited about it. And I've been texting Jade the whole time I was in there. I was like, dude, I have a crystal shop. She was like, what? I was like, I have a crystal shop. And I did treat myself to a new crystal. So I did get this one. It is fire quartz. I just loved the colour of it. Now this is a rather large crystal. I don't know how to explain how big this is. Okay, this is my phone in comparison. It's quite a big crystal. And down south you would pay upwards of 30 quid. You'd probably pay 40 quid for something this size. I just paid £18 for this. And she did comment on the fact that obviously, like, because I mentioned that my best friend would love this shop. We go to the crystal shops down at hers in Ipswich, and she was like, oh yeah, she said she's gonna love the prices when she comes up here. Because obviously down south everything gets marked up no matter what it is. So yeah, £18 for this massive crystal, and I absolutely love it. The shop was so adorable. It wasn't very big, not as big as the ones at Jade's, but in general it was just a really nice, cute shop, and the owner was lovely as well. So absolutely buzzing about that. So my plan for today, I was going to film today, but you can tell by the look of me I'm not doing that. I just can't be bothered. I'm not in the mood, and I kind of just want to read. So I think today is going to be a reading day, see if I can get ahead of the 30 books in 30 days and see if I can get a couple more knocked off today. So my plan is to finish Ghost Eaters, and then I think I'm going to try and read the novella from Serpent and the Wings of Night. I think it's called Six Crimson Cranes. That's not the right book. That's by Elizabeth Lim. I've forgotten what it's called. I'll show a picture of it here. So I think I want to try and get through both of those. So that's my plan. My eyes really sore. That's what I intend to do today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself settled down to get some reading done and see what I can manage. I don't think I have too long left of the audio for Ghost Eaters. Let's have a quick butchers. Oh, 2 hours and 56 minutes left, so it won't take me long to get through at all. So yeah, that's my plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you, probably when I finish Ghost Eaters. So I'll see you then.
Nobody is losing. Faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. The swallows will be here by dawn, and when we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt.
You might be a little bit wonky on the sofa. I'm still too lazy to go and get the tripod. I won't mind, I spent half the day up there today. It's Thursday evening. It's 9 minutes past 6 and I didn't update you yesterday. I wasn't feeling particularly well. I had a cracking headache for a good portion of the day, and I actually went up and had a nap around 1:30 for a few hours. So yeah, I didn't update you yesterday. I still did reading, but I just wasn't in the mood to turn the camera on. I looked like shit, I felt like shit, I was not in the mood. So feeling better today, managed to have a shower, wash my hair this morning, and I've been on Patreon sprints since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm still going, we're just on our last sprint. But I need to come and give you an update. I've edited the vlog up until this point because I couldn't remember the last thing I told you. And even though I've just edited it, I've now just forgotten what the last thing I told you was. So, oh, I'd been to the crystal shop and got my nails done, and I was reading Ghost Eaters. Yeah, I was. So I need to give you an update on that. God, I've finished like 4 books since then, if not more. So I need to give you an update on that, tell you what I rated it. So Ghost Eaters was good. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, 3.5 if I gave half stars. It was weird. It was absolutely wild. It was batshit crazy, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. The synopsis and everything that I read to you in the previous clip was pretty much exactly what had happened. You take this pill, you can start seeing ghosts. Unfortunately, you just cannot get away from it. So Erin ends up wanting to take the pill so that she can see Silas again, because she said some nasty things to him just before he died, and she wanted to apologize and be able to see him again, and it kind of goes tits up. So it was good. 3 stars for that one. It was fine. Then I did read 6 Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent, which I did enjoy. That was really, really good, and I gave it 4 stars, 4.5 if I gave half stars. It was very good, and I had a good time with it. It was way more romantic than I would say The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I think because it was a novella, it was much quicker. Obviously in Serpent it was a slow burn and the book is a lot bigger, so in this one I felt like the romance was there almost immediately, if you like. But we were following a girl called Lilith whose town has been cursed essentially with this horrible plague where people are just very slowly but surely dying. Their skin is falling off, their hair's like falling out, and they're very slowly dying, and Lilith's sister is one of these people. Now Lilith has seen death several times before. She nearly died when she was born, then her mother passed when her sister was born, and then she's nearly died again. And for some reason she was meant to die when she was young, and for some reason she's got to 30 and she's still alive, but every single day she kind of works herself to the bone so that she can come up with a cure to help her sister. And she asks the assistance of the local vampire, Vale. She asks for his help, and a romance ends up brewing between them. She's still trying to get this cure for her sister, and then all of this stuff goes down right at the very end of the book. A lot happens in it considering it's a novella, to be honest, and all this stuff goes down right at the end of the book. And I think we're going to see more of Lilith and Vale in the next book, Ashes. So I'm really glad I read it, really enjoyed it. I already love those 2 characters, so I'm very excited to see more of them in the next book along with the 2 main characters from Serpent. So I'm really looking forward to picking up Ashes now, and my copies did come, my physical copies. So 4.5 stars for that one. And then I did move on to, I ended up going completely off piste with my TBR, not entirely, but I didn't pick up the Book Eaters or the Spite House, and I'm not going to. I might pick up the Book Eaters maybe in May if I can fit it in, but I just wasn't in the mood to pick it up, and I started freaking out about time. So I did then pick up Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski because the audiobook wasn't too long, and I have finished this afternoon, and I gave this one 4 stars. It was good. We basically follow Flick, who is 12 years old. She moves to this new town and she finds this shop called Strange Worlds Travel Agency. Now this isn't a normal travel agency. Basically you can travel between worlds, multiverses, etc. via suitcases. So instead of like doors, like portal worlds and stuff through doors, she goes through suitcases, and she ends up going with this guy called Jonathan who runs the shop. He's 18 and his father is missing. and I think the story will continue to try and find his father, but there is a problem with one of the worlds, and it's kind of fallen to pieces, and they have to make a decision whether to continue looking for Jonathan's father or to help this world. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I liked the different way of using the multiverse and the portal magic and stuff. I thought it was very clever with the suitcases, and I really enjoyed it for a middle grade. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with this series. This was also on my Our Fantasy TBR as well, so my first book for that is knocked off now, and I'm really proud of myself. So really happy about that. 4 stars for this one. I then went straight into The Dark One by Nikki St. Crow, which is the second in the, I don't know what the series is called, the Lost Boys series or something. I read the first one, which was The Never King, earlier on this month, and I gave this one 3 stars, 3.5 stars if I gave half stars. Didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but it was good nonetheless, and I am going to continue on with the series. I do feel like I saw a review right at the top on Goodreads that says that if you read these separately, like if you read them back to back, I think you'll enjoy the story more because you continue on with it. The cliffhangers are very good at keeping you coming back, but if you read them with gaps in between, you kind of lose the momentum with the story a little bit, and it drags you out of the story, and I would agree with that. So I don't want to leave it too long until I read the next one. Again, might try and pick it up in May if I find some time to continue on with it. I do have Final Book Support Group coming up in May, so maybe I could pick it up for that one. But this isn't the final book. There is a 4th one as well, but the audiobook isn't out for it yet, so I'll probably pick that one up on Kindle. But this is a Peter Pan retelling with reverse harem. It's fantasy romance, and it's really, really good, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Pan has lost his shadow, and Tink is the bad guy, and there is a whole bunch of shit going down, and the darlings, every time a darling turns 18, the Lost Boys kidnap them because they think that they know where Pan's shadow is, and this time they've ended up, they have like this rule that you don't touch the darlings, like you're not to sleep with them, you're not to touch them, etc. And the rules have gone out the window with this one, and it's a reverse harem, and she's sleeping with all kinds of different people, and it's really good. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying the series. Just didn't enjoy this one as much as the first one. I felt like I kind of lost the characters a little bit. There were so many characters that were following that I kind of lost it a little bit, and again lost momentum with it. So again, don't want to, I mean, I only left it a week or 2 between reading the 2, so maybe waiting until the end of next month to read the next 2, maybe that's not a good idea, but I'll see when I get a chance to pick the next one up. So I have finished that now. I've just finished editing this vlog up until this point, and I'm here to tell you what I'm picking up next. So I've only got 2 more books to go, so this is now my plan, and I am going to stick to it this time. I'm not, you know, telling you plans for the sake of telling you plans now. So I've been wanting to pick this up for a while, in fact since I got it, since I heard about it, but I've just not had a chance to get to it. And Caitlin's read it yesterday and loved it, and then one of my patrons has been reading it today, and I was like, I just want to pick this book up so desperately. So I'm going to pick this up for this evening and hope that I can finish it off. It is a reasonable length, but the audiobook's not too long, just over 10 hours. So I'm thinking that I can get through it because I'm picking my parents up at 2:30 in the morning tomorrow morning, so chances are I'm not going to sleep this evening, but I am pretty tired, so I might have a bit of a nap. So I might go pick them up before I actually go to sleep properly, and then when they get back they're leaving with the dog, and then I can have a proper sleep. But the book is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. This is a thriller with a little bit of a sci-fi element to it. So it's following a woman. I think something's happened with her son, whether he's committed a crime or something, and she basically finds herself keep jumping time and wondering whether she can stop this event from happening. So late October after midnight, you're waiting up for your son. He's late. As you watch from the window, he emerges and you realise he isn't alone. He's walking towards a man and he's armed. You can't believe it when you see him do it. Your funny, happy teenage son, he kills a stranger right there on the street outside your house. You don't know who, you don't know why. You only know your son is now in custody, his future lost. That night you fall asleep in despair, all is lost until you wake, and it's yesterday again. And then you wake again and it's the day before yesterday. Every morning you wake up a day earlier, another day before the murder. Somewhere in the past lies the answer, the trigger for this crime, and your only chance to fix the future and save your son. It sounds fascinating and I'm really, really excited about it. I love me. It's not quite Groundhog Day because she's moving in the past day by day, but I just love that element. So I'm really, really excited about this one. Heard nothing but great things. So I'm hyped. The text in here is fucking huge as well. So although it looks like a really big book, it is 400 pages. The text is enormous. 402 pages. So yeah, really excited about this one, and this is what I'm going to be picking up next. And then for my last book for April, 30 books in 30 days, I'm going to read this on Saturday for Jade's Pokeathon gym. So tomorrow I don't plan on reading anything, but Andy's got the day off work, so I'm going to have a lie-in. I'm not going to set an alarm. I'm going to have a lie-in. We're going watching a movie in the afternoon. We've just booked tickets. We're going to go with his mum to watch a horror movie, Evil Dead Rises, I think. Not a fan, but whatever, it makes him happy. And then we're going to go and grab some food, and then I'm spending the weekend at his. But I am going to take with me Death Note Volume 2 for the horror prompt for Pokeathon gym on Saturday, so that I can complete the Pokeathon gym with at least one book. And this will be my last and final book, and I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that is my plan. That was a really long update. I do apologise. This is what happens when you disappear for one day. Apparently I just fucking read everything. So yeah, I'm gonna make a move on this now and pick this one up. Really, really excited about it. So I'm gonna spend the rest of the evening reading this. I've got 30 minutes left on this sprint, so I'm gonna make a start. I also need to sort some food out as well because I'm absolutely Hank Marvin. So for Felicity and Lucy, in any multiverse, I'd want to be agented by you. I'm intrigued to know if this has got like a multiverse element to it, or how the time thing is going to work, but I'm very excited about it. So yeah, I'm going to go and stop rambling, and I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you. Alright, it's many hours later. Just ignore the fact that this canvas is now no longer on the wall. I've been doing, well, not me, as if I would. Some decorating's been being done in here, and I have now decided that I'm not going to put this back on the wall. It's a massive canvas and it brings the room right in, so I'm going to get a big clock for this wall instead. Get this canvas taken down to something a bit narrower and put it in the hallway. You didn't come here for that. I'm here to give you a reading update on Wrong Place, Wrong Time. I am now just over halfway. I have just over an hour and a half of the audio left. It's currently 10:45. I'm picking my parents up approximately 1:30ish. It's probably going to be more like 1:45 to 2 o'clock. But I am currently reading this. I can't say too much about this without spoiling it, but in the first chapter we have the whole situation where our main character, Jen, her son kills the person outside the front door. That all happens in the first chapter. And then she goes back a day, and obviously she doesn't realise, and she's panicking because she wakes up in the morning and she's obviously got this sense of dread because her son's been arrested for the murder of this man. But everything seems to be normal in her home. Her husband's fine, her son is there, and Byron doesn't know what she's talking about when she's like, how did you get out of prison? And he's like, Mum, what the fuck are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. And then she starts going back like chunks of days. I'm currently up to, I don't know what the next chapter is going to be because we've got the POV from another person who is vital to this story, I think, but I don't know 100% how right now. But day minus 531. The chapter before that was not that far back, 144. So we are jumping massive chunks right now. I don't know how far back she's going to go. Obviously 500 and odd is over a year, so I'm not sure how far back it's going to take this story, but it's very interesting how it's all weaving into like different areas in her life about her son. I think she thought it was just a situation with her son and another person, but it turns out that that is not the case. There's like other people in her life involved, and it's very interesting the way she's pulling it all together. I could never be this woman. The way that she is kind of, obviously she wasn't super chill at the beginning, but the way that she's like come around to it and now she's figured out what's going on and how to work with it, she is unbelievably chill with what's going on. She's lost her head a couple of times, which is to be expected, but in general she's just kind of getting on with it, and she's like, right, I've got to figure out how we're doing this. I mean, she's a lawyer, so she's got the brains to do it, but yeah, very interesting, very intriguing. I'm excited to see where this goes and the reason for this whole thing. But I've been messaging Caitlin with some of my predictions as well. I think she's gone to bed, but I've been messaging her with some of my predictions as well because she did ask me to do so. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, enjoying it so far. Still planning on finishing this before I go and pick my parents up. So I better get on with it because I only have, it's 10:50 now, and I have an hour and 36 minutes left of the audio, which will take me to about 12:30ish, I think, if my math is correct. So I better get on with it. I obviously have to keep myself company then for another hour to an hour and a half or so before I go and get my parents. So, and I don't want to pick up my last read of the month until Saturday because it's for Pokeathon Gym specifically. So we'll have to see how that goes, whether or not I just decide to start one of my May reads. Who the fuck knows, while I'm still, you know, in reading mode before this weekend, because I'll read Death Note on Saturday, but chances are I probably won't read anything tomorrow and Sunday. So I'll probably have like a pretty reasonably big break, and then Monday, whether or not I get a chance to read anything, I don't know. I actually haven't filmed anything. I know I've banged on a lot in this vlog about the fact that I need to film quite a bit. I decided in the end not to film anything. It's just not been the week for filming. My head's not been in it, and my heart either. I've just not been feeling particularly well. I've been feeling very run down, I'm not gonna lie. I just don't think I've been sleeping too well, and with me throwing my back out the other day as well, I've been in a lot of pain with that, so I do need to be careful with what I'm doing. I did want to film all my unread books video for this weekend, but I'm not going to get it done. Well, the weekend just gone by the time you see this video. I'm not going to get it done because my thought process, and my bed has got to go in the library currently because the plasterers come in Tuesday, and the ceiling's being done as well as the walls, so everything's got to be taken out. So my thought process is that I will wait to do all the unread books video. I'll film that when I'm moving the books from the current library to the new library, because as the books are coming off the shelves, instead of putting them back on the shelves, which takes most of the time of the video, to be perfectly honest, I can just then pop them on the floor and then they can be taken into the new library. So I'll probably do it that way around. But yeah, Monday might be taken up by filming mostly because this will be the only video so far that I have filmed for next week. So there is that. I'm starting to come, I know I'm run down because I'm starting to come down with a cold again, and it's really pissing me off. I've only just gotten rid of a cold, and this is one of my biggest indicators of being run down. I mean, generally I'm tired anyway. I'm a tired person because I don't sleep a lot, but I've definitely not been sleeping much this week with having the dog. I'm a very light sleeper and he gets up and mooches about a lot, so it's quite disturbing to have another body in the house when you've forgotten they're there, which has happened on a couple of occasions. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be, I think it's going to be a way more chilled, relaxed day. I'm not going to be as stressed because the dog's not going to be here, and it can be quite stressful because he's not trained. He's a bit stressful, and because I've not been able to take him out the last few days as much as I wanted to, he's been very needy. So he's just laying in front of the fire now, having this time of his life. He loves the fire. He's very clever not to stick his face in it, to be honest. I'm surprised he's never done that, but yeah. So, oh, speak of the devil. Got a scratch. I'm over here. He looked at the sofa then like, where is she? Hi, baby. You want to jump up? Dev? You want to jump up? Come here. Come here. Come here. He's having none of it. Say hi to the people. Hello, baby. Dev. You're such a burpy boy. Come here. Up. Hello. Oh, he's a handsome boy. Anyway, that's the update. I'm gonna go and finish this book off before I get myself too distracted and end up putting it down and not picking it back up again. I need to get it finished this evening, so I'll check back in with you when I'm done and let you know my thoughts.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
Okay, I finished Wrong Place, Wrong Time about 5 minutes ago. I was updating Corpile and also my little tracker thing for 30 books in 30 days. That's my alarm to set off and go and pick my parents up. So I will update you on this with my thoughts in the morning. But wow. Wow. Phenomenal. Incredible. Outstanding. A masterpiece. I loved it, by the way. So I'll be back to give you my update in the morning. Hello loves, I entirely forgot to update you this morning on Wrong Place, Wrong Turn. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, even, by Gillian McAllister, because I said last night that I was going to give you my thoughts, well, early hours of this morning. So it's now Friday afternoon, well, Friday evening, it's 7:45 PM, and we've been to the cinema this afternoon, me, Andy and his mum, to go and watch Evil Dead Rises. Not great, the first one was better. I was hiding for a good portion of it though, it's very gory. But the first one is definitely better. But update on Wrong Place, Wrong Time. That book was absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you any more than what I've already told you as far as the synopsis is concerned because it would spoil everything. The only thing I am going to say is I think my favourite character out of the whole book is definitely Andy. He was so good. I apologise if you can hear the traffic, the window's open, I'm at Andy's. Yeah, his character was hilarious. I just thought he was the funniest person, and he had this like one quote that I sent to Caitlin in a message, and it was something like, "So I'll see you yesterday," and it was just perfect. I just loved the book. 5 stars. The atmosphere was fantastic. The way that you start off with this situation and then she goes back and back and back and you're constantly wondering when is it going to end, because she goes so far back, like really far back. And then they're interwoven chapters with another character who's very important to the story. Fantastic. Partway through I did figure out what was going on and I was texting Caitlin, and I think that honestly made part of the whole interaction so much better because she'd read it the day before. So despite the fact that at some point while I've been messaging her she did nod off because it was late, obviously I was trying to keep myself awake so I could go and get my parents, she'd been to sleep because she'd been to work today. So I was messaging her, and this morning she was reading my messages back, and we've both agreed that we want to do this again because it was such a good time. She enjoyed getting my messages from me and my predictions, etc., and I enjoyed having someone to, even though she wasn't replying because she was asleep, having someone to message my thoughts to, because the amount of times I've nearly picked my camera up and gone, oh my god, I cannot believe such and such a thing just happened, and then I realise it's a spoiler and I can't do that, and there's no one else I can really speak to about it. So it was such a great, the whole thing was just a really good experience. The book was fantastic, 5 stars, would highly recommend. I can't believe how many good thrillers I'm having at the moment as well though, like Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney and then Wrong Place, Wrong Turn by Gillian McAllister. I found 2 new authors there for sure, so really happy about that. So I've got 1 book left for the month of May to do my 30 books in no, for the month of April, it's not May yet, for the month of April to do my 30 books in 30 days. And I did mention yesterday, but that book is going to be Death Note Volume 2. I'm going to read it tomorrow for the Pokeathon Gym for Jade's readathon, Patreon readathon. And this one follows a boy called Light Yagami, and he's a like straight A student with very good prospects. His dad's a cop, and one day he ends up with this book which is a death note, and there is a Shingami death god attached to the death note, and basically if you write a person's name in it, they will die within the next, I think it's like 8 seconds or something, unless you specify on what time and date they will die and how. And unfortunately it ends up going to his head a little bit too much, and he ends up playing God and taking it a little bit too far. So I'm excited to continue on with this series. I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm just updating my vlog. And he's just come back in from the kitchen. This is the first time I've filmed in front of him before, and it's really weird. So yeah, planning on reading this one tomorrow and continuing on with this series. I've got all of the volumes in this series, so hopefully I can binge them at some point. But we have actually watched a movie for this one. Do you remember?
What?
Death Note. With the little weird god thing. We've watched a movie for it, and I don't know how much the movie encompasses, whether it's just the first volume or all 6 volumes. So maybe I know what's coming, but either way, I'm intrigued to continue on with this, and then I might try the anime maybe, because I feel like that might be better than the movie. But yeah, looking forward to picking this up tomorrow, hopefully. And then, yeah, Wrong Place, Wrong Turn. Wrong place, wrong time. That's like the 3rd or 4th time I've just done that in this clip, and it's only 5 minutes long. Would recommend, 5 out of 5 stars, highly recommend. Great story. I think I'm going to try and get my dad to read it, because I think he would really enjoy the time element to it. So yeah, but that is the update. So I will come back and update you on this tomorrow, let you know my thoughts on this. We're probably going to try and go and see Thomas and my brother and sister-in-law tomorrow. He's not taking me on because I've missed them, and they came back off their holiday this afternoon. So yeah, Denver has now gone, so I am out of the house. I am free as a bird. No longer dog sitting. So yeah, that's it. That's the update. I will come back and check in with you tomorrow and give you an update then. Good morning. It is Monday morning, and I'm here to wrap this reading vlog up. I managed to complete 30 books in 30 days. There will be a wrap up coming for April very soon. I usually do quarterly wrap ups, however I have decided that I'm going to do a April wrap up, just because it was 30 books in 30 days and I haven't the room right now to be leaving these books lying around until I wrap them up. And listen, I had this thing where I can't put books back on the shelf until they're wrapped up. I just can't with myself, never mind anybody else. So I did manage to read 7 books this week. I thought I had to read 8. I'm not sure where I got my math wrong, but I did manage to read, 7 books. So I'm really happy about it. And let's go through very briefly what I did read. So the first book I did read was Dinosaurs 10 Things You Should Know, which I gave 4 stars, 4.5 stars if I gave half stars. I don't think I mentioned this book once, other than to say that I might go up to bed and read it. I don't think I then told you that I did read that in one night. I listened to the audiobook, which was on Scribd, and I would highly recommend the audiobook. It's audioed, it's narrated It's narrated by Dean Lomax, who is also the person that's written this book, Dr. Dean Lomax, and he's got a very nice voice. I don't know what to tell you. The narration was very good. This is basically for people who don't know a lot about dinosaurs but are fascinated by them, like myself, and it gives you some very, very simple but very interesting facts. For example, did you know that a velociraptor is around about the size of a chicken and has feathers? Because I fucking didn't. I thought velociraptors were massive bird-like friggin' dinosaurs that could lift a person off the floor. That's what I thought velociraptors were. Apparently not. They're the size of a chicken and have feathers. Sometimes can't even fly. But you didn't know that. You do now. This book told me that fact. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I thought this was great, and I would highly recommend. If you already have a lot of knowledge about dinosaurs, you might find this a bit boring, a bit mundane, but this is definitely for the person that doesn't know a great deal to begin with about dinosaurs and just wants some interesting facts maybe to tell the buddies in the pub or whatever, you know. You know, there's that friend that's always got like, did you know? You can become that friend about dinosaurs. Did you know? I'm aware that there are several others like this. There is one, 10 facts about the brain, 10 facts about the deep sea, I believe, 10 facts about the universe, 10 facts about time I'm aware of as well. So there's a couple of others as well if you've got other interesting, you know, subjects that you're interested about. Could be a good one. Then I did read Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. I picked this one up for a host favourite. This is one of Cassidy's favourites. And this one is a horror. It is very bizarre, very strange. I gave this 3 stars, 3.5 if I gave half stars. I thought it was good. I thought the concept was great. I just found myself wondering what the fuck was going on for 90% of the book. And I think that's the point, a little bit. I was getting almost like, you know, the fever dream vibes that you get from The Last House in Needless Street. I was a little bit getting that, but also felt like I couldn't really say that that was the same type of feeling because drugs are actually involved in this. So, you know, it's drug-filled hallucinations, if you like. It was fantastic. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was very well written, and I do want to pick up more from Clay McLeod Chapman in the future. I just don't think it was a new favourite for me. So 3 stars is still a very good rating. I always want to kind of like preface this, but 3 stars is not a bad rating from me. 5 stars means that it's a all-time new favourite book and I will love it forever and probably reread it. A 4 stars means that it could still be an all-time favourite book. For example, the Zodiac Academy books so far have been 4-star books, but I fucking love those books to the moon and back. They are now favourite books ever. But they just didn't have, I think it's because I know the series is going to get better. I wanted my ratings to reflect that as I go on. But it's still, you know, a very good rating. 3 stars is still a good rating. It was just a middle of the roadish kind of book for me. I can either give a 3 star to a book that was very middle of the road and was kind of basic and was fine and did exactly what it said on the tin, or I can give 3 stars to a book that I enjoyed. It was a good time. I just didn't feel like it deserved more than a 3 star. Which is this. So 3 stars for Ghost Eaters. It was fine. Then I went on to 6 Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent, which I did then buy a physical copy of. I e-booked it, but I have since bought a physical copy because I do have copies now of both Serpents and Ashes. So yeah, I wanted a physical copy of this one too. This is really, really pretty, by the way. And I did give this one 4 stars, 4.5 stars if I gave half stars. I really enjoyed Vale and Lilith's story, and I thought that this really packed a punch considering how small it is, and I'm very excited to see more of them in Ashes. So this is a novella that comes in between Serpent and Ashes, so I would recommend picking this one up before you get to Ashes because it covers Vale and Lilith's story, and we do get more of them in the second book. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that a lot happened in this considering how short it is, and it really does, like I say, pack a punch, and I would recommend. Then I did go on to Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski, which I gave 4 stars. This was a really good time. I had a cracking time with this one. I do have the next 2 in the series. I think the next 2 anyway. Yeah, I'm sure it's the next 2 in the series. So I'm very excited to continue on with this, and carry on reading them, but I had a good time with it. And this also knocks a book off of my Our Fantasy TBR, which is outstanding news, and I'm really happy about that. So 4 stars for this one. Then I did read The Dark One by Nikki St. Crow. This is the second in the, I don't know the title of the series. It's a Peter Pan retelling series. And I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars. What I will say about this series is if you're planning on picking it up, I would recommend reading these books back to back. Also, almost like a, you know, compendium of the series, if you like. So novellas, but put together as a compendium, like the Mindfuck series, for example. I think it really lends itself to being read back to back, because you can lose your way, I think, a little bit. There is a lot of characters, and there's a lot going on, and I think you can lose your way a little bit if you're not careful. So it does lend itself to being read back to back. But so far, 3 stars for this one. I did enjoy it, and I do want to continue on with the series. Again, hoping that I can do so soon, so I don't again lose my way with it. Then I did go on to Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I read this while waiting for my parents to get back off their holiday so I could go pick them up. I read it in one evening, and it was such a good choice to do so, and I fucking love this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was outstanding. I think made better by the fact that I was texting back and forth with Caitlin and just had a really good time. Eventually she did nod off because it was late in the night, obviously, and it was a work day the following day. But to still send my messages to her and send my theories to someone made this whole reading experience so much better. The amount of times that I've been reading a thriller or a mystery and I've been wanting to send or speak my, like, say my theories somewhere and had nowhere to say them. I have even got my camera out before now and then gone, no, it's clearly a fucking spoiler, you can't do that. It did have me in a petition though, where I was discussing it with Caitlin, and I was like, I kind of wish I had a thriller book club now, like a mystery thriller book club now, because these books, this and Daisy Darker this month would have been perfect for discussions. Absolutely perfect. There's so much to say. There are so many things you can go into when you get into the spoiler portion of the discussion. They're just fantastic books, and there is so much to say. So I kind of wish I had a thriller mystery book club now, but it is what it is. But love this, 5 stars, outstanding. Would recommend, read it all in one day if you can. And then last but no means least, Saturday, I did read Death Note Volume 2 for Patreon buddy read. Jade's Patreon buddy read, that is, Pokeathon, and I gave this one 4 stars. This was good. It does continue on from the first volume, in which we're following Light, and he has a Shingami and a Death Note. If he writes somebody's name in the Death Note, they will die within a portion of time, very, very quick portion of time, unless he specifies otherwise. And he is currently being investigated by the police, in which his dad is partially head of the task force. And yeah, very interesting concept, really enjoying it so far, looking forward to continuing on with the series. Didn't realise how long it takes to get through these volumes. A bitch convinced herself it doesn't take long to get through a manga. It doesn't, if the manga is this long. But this is obviously a longer manga. It took me the whole day on Saturday to get through. I was stopping and starting and napping in between because I hadn't slept very well the night before, but 4 stars, did enjoy it. So that is 30 books in 30 days complete. I will, like I say, be doing a wrap up, so I will give you not my full thoughts on each book. I will be doing like my usual quarterly wrap up style. I'll give you some stats at the beginning, and then go through and give you my rating for each book, maybe a couple of lines on how I felt about the book. But yeah, really proud of myself. Didn't get through as many chunky books as I would have hoped, but I did get through some books I wasn't expecting. For example, Wrong Place, Wrong Time as well. So yeah, really happy with how that went, and kind of glad it's now over. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that is everything to update you on for this week's reading vlog. This is a really long clip, and I already know that this vlog is probably going to be pretty long. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I shall chat to you in the next one. Bye for now.